Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my dear fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today we are gonna have some different kind of meeting, panel discussion. So the first instruction I suggest is please switch off your mobile phones or keep them in silent mode. As Toastmasters, this is a regular instruction. We do not discuss about sex, religion, and politics. We support we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Over to you, Madam President Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shukrit. Good morning, good evening, guests and Toastmasters. You are most welcome to Toastmasters for Professionals. Today, we have a special, extraordinary meeting, and this is one that has a new type of meeting that I haven't experienced before. Our Toastmaster is none other than Toastmaster Rahul. Now, before I introduce Toastmaster Rahul, please allow me to give a few announcements for our club business. Club members and Toastmasters for Professionals, I would like to remind you kindly to update your details in Basecamp. We need this tonight is the last night that we have. I'm asking you kindly go to your Basecamp, date what you need to update, reach out to our Vice President, Dr. Mary Thomas, and she will be able to help. Another person that can help who has been through the process is Swati. Swati Venkataram can help you. Dr. Stephen Bowie can help you. I can also help you. Please do not feel shy. Go ahead and please update your Basecamp details before the end of tonight. And now, ladies and gentlemen, drum rolls, are you ready for the night we have been waiting for? I'm going to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Rahul is from Capital Land Toastmasters Club in Bengaluru, India. His passion is hosting and emceeing at functions. He joined Toastmasters and wants to hone his skills and turn his passions into a career. Put your hands together and welcome with me, Toastmaster Rahul.
Yes, thank you so much, Presiding Officer, for such a warm welcome with a warm introduction. Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible, better, and visible as well. Yes. Till now, I was speaking as a TMOD. That's why you might have seen my energy a bit. But however, let me switch to the moderator immediately. So once again, good morning, everyone. I welcome all of you, the Toastmasters, the distinguished guests, and panelists to the panel discussion that is going to happen today. So we can have a big round of applause. Yes. And I am Rahul V. Will be acting as your moderator for this panel discussion. And in this panel discussion, we will be trying to dwell into the concept how to handle a sensitive topic, the sensitive topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And especially, we will be focusing on how to handle such situations in a Toastmaster platform. So that Toastmaster platform could be either a Toastmaster meeting or a Toastmaster contest or any event that is directly or indirectly related to Toastmaster. Then, shall we jump into the discussion? No, right? For a discussion to happen, we should have set of people or we can say group of people. So in order to help me in this discussion, we have set of panelists, and let me welcome or let me introduce them one by one and what the topic they are going to talk about, and then we can quickly dwell into the discussion. To start with, we have Toastmaster D. Mary. She will be talking about diplomacy and world affairs, how to handle a sensitive situation or sensitive topic. And next, we have Toastmaster Stephen, who will be talking about body shaming and shaming. And we have next Toastmaster Pramod, who will be talking about politics. Then we have Toastmaster Mary, who will be talking about sex and sexuality. And last but not the least, we have Toastmaster Catherine, who will be talking about religion. So without much further ado, let me just give you a context and then go with the discussion. Often you might have seen, even though the Toastmaster International, if you go to the Toastmaster International website or an FAQ section of Toastmaster International, specifically Toastmaster International says that it doesn't restrict any of its members to talk about any topic in the world. But still, if you visit any, most of the clubs, especially in India or any different parts of the country, you can see they have their own terms and conditions, or in other words, restrictions whenever you visit a club and you start speaking on especially taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. You might be wondering, right, why it is and what is the reason different clubs have different, let's say, restrictions or different rules and rules that needs to be followed. So in order to get or look for answers, this discussion is happening. And considering this scenario in mind, I would request just to briefly understand a scenario, what might be the impact if any Toastmaster, let's assume, because guests are also part of a Toastmaster club, and even guests get a chance to speak in the meeting. So that's why from now onwards, I would be addressing both the Toastmasters and guests as a public speaker. So if any public speaker, whoever attends a Toastmaster meeting, what would be the impact without knowing the consequences of that sensitive topic that he or she is speaking, or without knowing the rules and regulations, what if that public speaker speaks on sensitive topic, what are the impacts that might occur? So I would like to request, or I would like to start with Toastmaster D. Mary to share further insights, what might be the impact that would happen if they speak on the sensitive topic that she has chosen. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. The Palestinian course or the Israeli course? Which direction would you go in and how would you choose? I want you to think about your response if someone had asked you that question in a table topic session. What would your answer be? That exact question was asked of me. Immediately, I felt the weight of diplomatic pressure on my shoulders because to ask me to make a decision and decide who is right and who is wrong as it related to the direction of two nations. That was huge. I could feel my body tensing up as I searched to find an answer. The Palestinian course or the Jewish course? How would I, someone who's sitting in front of my TV in Nashville, Tennessee, be equipped to answer a question about countries across the globe? So yes, the sensitivity of some questions and some discussions can be overwhelming and very impactful. Global peace is at stake. I knew that. I watch television, as most of you do, and we see all these things coming across our TV screen as it's being broadcast. But now I was asked to make a decision. That was a tenable position for me to be in, and we'll see how this unfolds. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster D. Mary, for briefly putting out your thoughts on how it would impact, especially when it comes to global politics, considering that as a sensitive topic. In the same way, I would like to know the thoughts from Toastmaster Stephen on the sensitive topic of body shaming or shaming and how it's going to impact. So over to you, Toastmaster Stephen. May I request you to please unmute yourself so that, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. body shaming or shaming in general. Have you ever been called fatty, whale, or skinny, chopsticks, eat a burger, eat a whole pizza? Well, I have been called that. When I first came to America, I look different. I act different from the kids in class in school. So that's what they call me. And imagine as a kid, how would you react in those scenarios? I'm sure it has an impact on anybody who had received those kind of remarks. For me, it was kind of folded into myself because number one, I do not speak the language. So I don't know how to react. For myself, it has a definitely long-lasting consequence psychologically. And luckily, I did not have any behavior effects, such as eating indulgence and things like that, trying to change the body image. But ladies and gentlemen, body shaming has a profound effect on our society, our children. It affects men and women and people of all backgrounds. It leads to the impact of it is very profound to cause low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, eating disorder, and other mental health issues that can carry you to adulthood. And those are the impact that body shaming or even shaming, for somebody that looked different from the other kids, go back to where you came from. Those things are affecting the people, not only the people that receive the shaming, but also affect the people that give the shaming as well. So for me, I believe that it is a definite problem that we need to address and look into it more. Thank you. Back to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Stephen, sharing insights about what might be the impact or what are all the impacts that everybody or every individual will face as a part of shaming or body shaming that they go through in their adolescence and childhood until they reach their a point where they get mature. Thank you for sharing that insights. Now, I would like let's hear few words from Toastmaster Pramod, especially with respect to politics and how it's going to affect in one or other ways. Toastmaster Pramod.
Hello and future Toastmasters, good morning and good evening. It's a very set word or fixed word in Toastmasters meeting. When Sergeant at Arms first opens the meeting, we don't talk about religion, politics, and sect. So once you attend this meeting, 2 meetings, 3 meetings, 5 meetings, it gets into your mind and it says that, okay, this is taboo topic that you are not supposed to talk to. But think about all the 3 topics. One topic in particular, which I'm going to talk about, that's politics. We live in politics. What we eat, what we wear, what we think, what we study, everything is the result of politics. Then how can you totally eliminate the discussion in a platform like Toastmasters, where people meet, people from different culture, different industry, different religion, they all come together and we meet and discuss, and we are totally eliminating the one significant topic of our life? Then what is the point of meeting here and sharing? I am here just very curious to understand the political situation in Africa or in USA. So when there are elections in US, I am equally tensed. Who is going to come there? What is the political situation of UK? Because I have relatives there. I'm really very much concerned about them, whether they would be staying there or they are coming back. They have to come back. So politics is something which affects everyone. Are you agree with me? You can't change the system unless you change the politics. That's why we have elections. So we embrace democracy long back. Now 99% of the countries in the world are in democracy. So in democracy, people encourage people to discuss politics because that is the only way they can take informed decisions. But like the topic of today's discussion, how to handle this topic with sensitivity or how to handle sensitive topic. That's very important. You're not supposed to impose your opinion on others. So we have to set boundaries and how to handle these topics in Toastmasters. That is today's discussion. When the discussion unfolds, definitely I will also come out with my suggestions on how to handle this politics. Over to you, Rahul, for further discussion.
Yes. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pramod, for detailed sharing of what exactly the problem, giving brief or gist about the problem itself for the audience so that they can brace themselves and be ready for how to handle this situation. Few solutions or tips and tricks in the further upcoming discussion from your side. Thank you for that. Now, let's move to the next person, that is Toastmaster Catherine, who would like to share her insights when it comes to, again, one of the most sensitive topics is religion. So I would request Toastmaster Catherine to share her thoughts on impact of talking about such sensitive topic, one of such sensitive topics.
Thank you so much, panel moderator Rahul. Toastmasters and guests, I would like to know by show of hands if any of us live in a community. Thank you so much. There is an African proverb that has been authored, and I cannot tell. I've done some research. I cannot tell who came up with this proverb. And this proverb says, it takes a village to raise a child, meaning we cannot exist without others. And what is a community? It's just a group of people who live, experience life together. In order for us to experience transformation and life together, I am personally convinced that it takes our superpower or a power higher than ourselves to propel us to care, to propel us to dream for, to propel us to think about community, to think about one another. That takes a higher power than us. However sensitive it is for us, we all have something we believe in that is greater than us. I am convinced that Toastmasters has an obligation to give us a chance to speak of those things, to speak of the higher powers that propel us to think about one another, to be sensitive to each other's faith or religion. What is it that makes us have that sensitivity and not fight one another and not kill one another and not shame one another and not put one another down? It's a power definitely higher than us. And we have the obligation, we have the opportunity to share these values, which also mirror the values of Toastmasters. And I think that if we have the opportunity and platform to talk about this freely, we get to grow. We get to expand our horizons. I get to understand how different people think and value life and share compassion because of the higher power that exists that propels them to think and raise a community better than they do. Back to you, Toastmaster, panel moderator Rahul. Thank you.
Yes. Once again, thank you so much, Toastmaster Catherine, putting forth your points on the specifically topic of religion and what are your thoughts on with respect to religion as such, and what are your thoughts on like how it should be utilized in Toastmaster community. Yes. So moving forward, the last one of the most sought after sensitive topics, where even most people afraid of speaking about this topic, especially when it comes to how we should say or what we should say so that the other gender or other group of people won't get affected. That's how most of us think, right? So not only in our Toastmasters life, in personal life as well. So considering that scenario in picture, I would like to hear few more detailed analysis from or detailed analysis on impact from Toastmaster Mary, So over to you, Toastmaster Mary. The stage is yours.
Thank you, panel moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, sex is a very hot topic. It's a very hot topic. Pardon my pun on that one. Why has it become so hot and yet no one dares to talk about it? There's so much of taboo. It's like a clandestine thing if we start talking about sex openly. How did that come about in society? There's only one answer for that one. It's conditioning. Sex, if you ask me, and I'm sure all of you would agree, we're all adults here, is as important as the food that we eat. And yet, we don't utter a word about this very important component of the human psyche. It's also an important component, a very important component in someone who is married. I will start even right now to say that the way to address this is respect. Respect, respect, respect. That's the way to address something as sensitive as what we do behind closed doors with someone else. There are 4 areas where we actually have an opportunity to talk about sex. You'll be surprised. The first one is the self. Statistics have shown that men think about sex 19 times a day, and women think about sex 12 times a day. Now, I'm sure you're figuring it out. Like, do I really speak that often? But actually you do, because sex is an internal energy. It's there. It's a power of creativity. It's a spiritual thing. We are spiritual beings on a human journey. Definitely, it's always lingering at the back of our mind. And it's one of the most exciting things to actually talk about. Number 2, when you are with a partner, you definitely have to talk about sex. You cannot keep quiet and not have a healthy sexual relationship.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt, Toastmaster Mary. Indeed, I agree. Whatever you're trying to say and whatever you're trying to, yes, I agree. There are many ways we can speak, and yes, however,
Sure.
yes,
I'll talk about it later.
Yes, as we were speaking, definitely I would like to give further more chances. We have further more chances for further discussions where we will be talking in depth about it. And I agree. I really appreciate the involvement you are having to make sure that everybody are comfortable, and especially that taboo topics requires bit of basement so that everybody gets comfortable and then talk about it. I solely understand what your intentions as well. Yes, thank you so much for laying out the foundation. And then, as I said, we will be focusing more on practical applications and practical impacts in the solely of Toastmaster platform. So, as of from our 5 panelists, you got to know basic idea of the problem that we are facing, or in other words, we can say impact. So now, once you get to know the problem, what you will do, you will just leave it as it is. No, right? Usually you try to analyze the problem and try to see is solutions or are there any solutions. The same way, now we all got to know what is the problem, especially when it comes to different topics, different sensitive topics in Toastmasters. Now let's hear further from the same panelists what might be the solutions or maybe in-depth analysis of the same problems as well, because few problems need bit more depth to analyze. So let's hear the same from our panelists again. This time, to start with, I would like to start with Toastmaster Pramod, his views on what might be the solutions or in-depth analysis on the problem.
Thank you, Rahul, and thank you, Dr. Mary. You truly energized us with more inputs. Thank you so much. And see, we have an inherent restriction on this platform. Even though we come from different places, there is a format for Toastmasters. For example, it is prepared speeches, and once in a while only we have this debate or panel discussion. So whenever we are selecting a topic, we have to be mindful about the audience. Like Mary said, it's Israel and Palestine. So there are some people they are supporting Israelis. There are some people who support Palestinians. But how, whenever you are delivering a speech on the crisis, it's a good topic to talk about. So you have to keep your audience in mind, and you should prepare the speech in such a way that it should not hurt the sentiments of anybody. Even if you have your own opinion, you can put the opinion in a very respectful manner. So the one thing is set the boundaries and do not cut the audience. So yesterday somebody shared a video. I think it is Milin who shared a video in our group. I was just going through the video. It's about how to handle the sensitive topics. It's very, very good. Like you have to set the boundaries and you have to be mindful about your audience. That's the first thing that we have to do while preparing a speech. That is, remember the audience, because the purpose of the speech is not you, it is the audience. Of course, you want to give information to the audience, keep them in your mind while preparing a speech. That is one thing. Second thing, I always remember this quote when it comes to a debate, that I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So that's something very important. I think this quote is attributed to Voltaire. He said, I'm totally disagree with you, but I will protect with my life your right to say it. So that should be the spirit. So in your speech, in your draft also, make sure that you are receptive and you are ready to accept disagreements. So if you are not ready to accept disagreements in a panel discussion, then there is no point in having here. So I am very curious to know and explore the expertise of the people here in different topics. Dr. Mary is a psychologist. She is a psychologist, is a practicing doctor. If she says something, and I'm sure that I can take it on face value. If she doesn't talk about sex or she doesn't talk about the implications of sex in our personal life, I have to go to a psychologist or understand from somebody by paying that. So here we have expertise. Why we are not using that expertise? That's my topic. So the topic, we can definitely use it with sensitivity, with boundaries, and with proper understanding of the audience and audience behavior. Thank you, Rahul. I think I have not taken more time.
Agree. No problem. No problem. You were just a bit of the time, so no problem. However, it takes 31 or 10 or 15 seconds to close the comments. No problem. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pramod, for sharing your being an initial person to share your thoughts on handling the situation when it especially comes to keeping sentiments of the audience. However, let's hear further more from other panelists. To start with, to go next with, I would request Toastmaster Mary again to continue her discussion on the sex further and share her thoughts further on the same topic. Over to you, Toastmaster Mary.
Didn't I tell you just now, sex is a hot topic? Do you know how many messages I got just now, right now? It's a hot topic. I'm not sure about the other panelists, but I got questions. And two of them said, that was amazing. We needed to hear this. Now, can you see how important the topic of sex is? Let me continue as I was saying. As a panelist, the panel moderator interrupted me while I was speaking. Let me tell you, respect is what we're talking about. We need to respect when someone is talking about something, whether it went off time, whether it's about something sensitive. And let me now continue why that was important. Number one, I was talking about speaking to yourself. Number two, I was talking about speaking to your partner. Number three, have we forgotten? We need to speak to our children about sex, sexuality, LGBT. We need to talk about that to our children. That's the role of a parent, particularly a mother. The fourth one, of course, comes to the public forum, which is, let's say, for example, Toastmasters. As a medical professional, I speak about sex very often to my patients. I run a family planning clinic. I'm a HIV educator. I also deal with the LGBT community. Sex is very easy for me. But that is not the scenario for the rest of us. So how do we handle this when we come to a Toastmasters platform? Respect, respect, respect. Always put forward your points with respect. Whether you're talking to yourself about sex, whether you're talking to your partner about sex, always raise your words, not your voice. Remember that. So that's the same methodology we use in a Toastmasters meeting. I have done speeches on sex before. Sexploitation, that's one of the scandalous speeches that I have given in Singapore. But everyone accepted it because I did it with panache. I did it with finesse. No one felt uncomfortable. When I produced pictures of women literally half nude, of course, the guys got excited, but no one gave a negative comment. I come back again, respect, respect, respect. Back to you, panel moderator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, sharing your thoughts and pointing to a single aspect, respect again and again. And definitely, indeed, we will come back again to conclude and hear a lot more from you as well, a lot more from on your topic as well. Now, as we got to know from two people, especially on two topics, let's move to the third person, that is Toastmaster Catherine, to know further insights on her thoughts of religion.
Thank you so much, panel moderator. There's something that Toastmaster Mary Thomas said in her earlier submission, and that is sex is an internal energy. It is the power of creativity. And she went on to assert we are spiritual beings. I bring affirmation to those statements in the sense that we are guided by a power higher than us. And what propels her to say respect is because we need to care for another human being with respect or with honor to the person that probably created them or to the person that maybe owns their higher power. So this is where I come from, and I say that indeed, as a community or as a group of people, in order to transform how we think about one another, in order to transform completely how we live with each other, we have to indeed address the point of our higher power, and that is either faith or religion, or respect one another for the sentiments of where we come from. And that is who drives us, who thinks about us. Let me give you an example. What comes to your mind when you hear the following names? Mother Teresa, the Pope John Paul, Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ. And I'll give you one other that comes from my community, and that's the former president, Idi Amin. All these people have power. All these people belong to religion. They did something about their community. I would like to assert that if your faith, if your religion is destroying the community, then we need to think about where you're getting your power from. We need to think about how you're interpreting the
Catherine,
power that you are getting.
I would like to, yes, indeed, I would like to agree whatever you're trying to say. Yes, I agree. However, on the other hand, our focus is solely on like how, especially we talk about such topics in Toastmaster International. I consider your point as we should leverage few aspects from like Mary Thomas said. At the same time, we should also make sure that whenever we share our opinions, yes, what do I say? I would like to say with conclusion saying that whatever we talk about sex or religion, we should focus mainly on respect, like you said, and then for further conclusions, definitely in the last, I would like to hear your thoughts on how we can tackle, or I can say how we can implement some techniques or tips so that whenever you talk specifically about some religion, the other person will have respect towards it and not feel hurted. Yes, thank you so much for your detailed insights on that part. Now, let's move to Toastmaster Stephen to share his views on body shaming tips or how to handle situations on body shaming. Over to you, Toastmaster Stephen.
Thank you, panel moderator Rahul. Do you know, as a doctor, I come across patients from both sides. The bully, the people that get bullied, body shaming, the people that receive the body shaming. I want to dissect to this problem. because before we can solve it, we have to analyze and understand it. Anybody have any thoughts? What's the primary culprit for any type of shaming or body shaming or any type of shaming? Anybody have any thoughts?
Low self-esteem.
That's it. Insecurity is the key word. Insecurity exists in the bully, and it creates insecurities in the people that get bullied or get shamed. So if we understand that, that's how we're gonna approach into fixing the problem. It has psychological, physical effect. So we're gonna look at 3 ways to address the problem. As Dr. Mary mentioned about sexploitation. Well, what do you see there? Using unrealistic body, for example, Victoria's Secret's advertising, is sending the wrong signals to our children that this is how you should look. Well, if you look around the room here, there's diverse people from different gender, different background. They all look different. And if we address that societal problem, we can have a solution to this problem. And we're going to talk about it when we wrap up. But the other aspect is the community. If we don't educate our children about the issues of acceptance, diversity, the healthy body image, well, our children are not going to know that. Even a lot of adults don't know that. And lastly, very important, is the individual coping skill of their insecurity. And we have to learn the self-acceptance. We have to learn to be resilient, because self-care is the most important way to fight body shaming or any type of shaming. And back to you, then we'll wrap up on our solutions on how to address these issues.
Yes. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stephen, sharing 3 key aspects of body shaming and how it impacts. Now, last but not the least, let's hear from Toastmaster D. Mary with respect to the sensitive topic. Yes, diplomacy and foreign affairs. Over to you, Toastmaster D.
So at this moment, I would like to just shed some light on how we arrive at understanding the sensitivity of a subject. Anytime you speak on a topic and war and peace elicits an emotional response. Right now, our TVs are bombarded with real-time images, sometimes unedited, of all the things that are happening in the Middle East. We can't escape it. There are protests on college campuses, even to the point that a college president resigned her position. There's no greater amount of sensitivity or impact than that. Once you take sides and you are not willing to listen to the other person's argument. And we've had it said here by so many of the speakers, we have to be able to control our emotions. There has to be a way to get our feelings and our frustrations out without having them impact someone else in a negative way. A number of people have been perpetrated violently because of their stance for either the Palestinians or for the Jewish community. There has to be a midpoint. And I am so anxious to be able to share that with you in our wrap-up session. But for me to have been given that as a table topics question, and I only had 30 seconds to try and decide, what am I going to say? How will I handle this? Because I knew that whatever response I gave could actually have an impact on my audience that was in that room. That was not my intent. I know that the subject matter that was presented to me has huge implications, and I was not about to be the one to stand before an audience of people and try and impose my thinking and my will on the entire audience. Back to you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster D. Mary, and focusing on listening when it comes to the topics you are talking, and you are given more importance to listening as well. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. Now we saw, we already saw the problem and analysis. Different persons have different views on the same problem, or we can say whatever the solution we are looking for, the approach everybody have is different. Now, when everybody have different approach, definitely everybody will have come up with different tactics to make sure that that problem won't get repeated, or to make sure that the problem gets fixed. Similarly, whatever the respective impacts and the solutions or in-depth analysis we till now we heard, let's give one more chance to all our panelists to conclude their thoughts on that how to handle such sensitive topics, and share few insights or few tricks and traits that everybody can follow or could be followed in a Toastmaster meeting, so that we can have a healthy conversation. So with that note, I would like to briefly again request to start with Toastmaster Stephen to go ahead and share his final wrap-up thoughts on that how to handle sensitive topics with respect to shaming or body shaming.
Thank you, panel moderator Rahul. Now that we know the three main solutions that possible we can use, I feel that to address this sensitive topic from the ground up, we have to address the insecurity or the self-esteem problem first. And that is the individual growth. Now, through my journey, from receiving these body shaming or shaming where I came from, I learned something about myself that is how we react to the problem really can solve the problem. So if I become violent, if I fight back, that's only making the problem bigger. But if we are secure, we learn to grow, to accept ourselves. So self-acceptance is one of the most important foundation to squash this body shame or any type of shaming. So educating on individual self-acceptance, self-care, and seek self-help or seek help if you're running into a problem, need professional help. The second aspect, societal problem, what I would like to see is I would like to encourage the media representation to showcase diversity of body type. That will help the society accept the body for different body type, and we will see that as a norm. Diversity is a norm. And lastly, addressing the community. The school should have programs to teach our children on learning how to accept others for who they are, learning about diversity, and learning about the healthy image, not just different body type or different background. So the key to this is celebrate diversity, value the whole person, accepting it, and by doing that, we'll see the world of where people are comfortable or helping people to be comfortable in their own skin. That's my approach to the solving the problem. Thank you. Back to you, panel moderator Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stephen, and emphasizing on acceptance is the key throughout. In one word, if I want to say, acceptance is the key throughout the discussion from your points of view. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to hear few more further conclusion from Toastmaster Catherine on her thoughts about religion. Over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much, panel moderator. And just before I ended the last statement, I was asking a question that if your fruit of faith is not transforming your community, if we're seeing something different, Our role then as Toastmasters or as people who transform society, as leaders, is to ask ourselves, how are you interpreting your source of power? And the only way to present such information, or the only way for us to bring it in a sensitive way, in a way that shows respect, is to do the research, present our facts. Where fruit has been wrongly presented or fruit hasn't been good as a result of faith, present the statistics, present the scenarios of what is happening, but also we can share personal stories. I'll give an example. Panelist Stephen said, if we teach our children how to deal with people who are different than us, that will help us. My son experienced bullying in school for being different. And it was my role as a mother to share with him, yes, you have been bullied, but people see different things when they see different people. And so the power of my conviction is when we present that information as Toastmasters or as leaders in all platforms that we've been given, we have an opportunity to show how our faith, our religion has transformed societies through education, through the media, through the arts, music, drama, dance, technology, poetry, science, governance and culture, peace and conflict. In my world, I submit to you, Toastmasters and guests, this is the only time it will take the whole village to raise our children when we are convinced about our own convictions as transforming community. Back to you, panelists. Thank you for an opportunity to share.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Again, to sum it up, back up your speech through facts and back up with your personal stories so that it will have more impact and you can handle it very well. Thank you so much for that insight. Now, we got to know 2 insights. Again, we have 3 more insights waiting for us. So next to go with, I would request Toastmaster D. Mary to share her wrap-up thoughts on the sensitive topic, foreign diplomacy, and affairs.
So I had an opportunity, fellow Toastmasters and guests, to pull in all the things that I have learned in Toastmasters. When I was given that topic, I froze at first thinking, what am I going to say? And all of a sudden, after taking my full 30 seconds to think about it, of course, it just dawned on me. Effective communication. Effective communication skills, which are taught through pathways, allows us to be able to do what I did. I used a rhetorical device, and what I did was I asked the question, am I being asked to decide the fate of 2 countries when it comes to war and peace? And I asked that question at least 2 or 3 times. I could not compel the audience to hear what I was saying, but by asking that rhetorical question, it caused them to think. I'm just one humble individual. There is no way that I would have the ability to decide the war and peace of 2 foreign countries. But effective communication leads to diplomacy. That's what the United Nations does. They sit there and allow nations to come together and speak to each other with integrity and with respect and try to come to an equitable solution that will help both sides to reduce the tension, to see the other person's side of what they're saying, and understand that you have to give just a little in order to get. That's what diplomacy is. Nobody gets everything that they want, but by coming together and making a decision of what the ultimate goal is, we use diplomacy and the tenets that we learned in Toastmasters to walk ourselves through that. Was I being asked to decide the war and peace of 2 nations in the Middle East?
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster D. Mary, sharing your thoughts and sharing in one or other way that rather than being a supporter of one or other person, be a diplomat, where you have an effective communication skill, where you speak far and two side of both the sides, and you can put forth your point. So thank you so much for bringing that point as a panelist onto the stage. Now let's go for next, again, one of the hot topics. So I would like to hear from Toastmaster Mary her final conclusion about sex and how to speak on sex, especially when it comes to, or how to handle whenever you're talking about sex when it comes to Toastmaster platforms. Over to you, Toastmaster Mary.
Thank you, panel moderator. I come back to the same point about being respectful. When we talk about sex, we need to be respectful, not only about ourselves, but also for the other party who's listening to us. Now, how does this respect even sow its seeds in us? It all comes from self-respect. Now, if I look at sex as something that is beautiful, something that is very wholesome and life-giving, when I translate what I think into my words and into my actions, it's going to be exactly how I think. Like I said, if I think of sex respectfully as something that's healthy and wholesome, what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do are also going to be wholesome and respectful. And of course, we can't change society all of a sudden and tell everyone that, hey, let's all just freely talk about sex. We can't. It's really a taboo subject, especially in Asian countries. But what we can do is inculcate the whole idea of sexuality and sex in a healthy manner within ourselves. Look at it as now it's called sacred sex. People don't just simply say sex, sex, sex all the way. It is now sacred sex. Now, what that means is that it's something very sacred, something important, something that is a part of our lives that we need to give respect to. So let's say now we need to talk about sex in a Toastmasters context. We can always talk about it in let's just say we're going to just twist it around a little bit. For example, I have given a speech on the love languages. Love language is a very easy way to incorporate sex into the speech without anyone feeling out of sync. It's a very easy thing. Now, likewise, whenever you want to speak about sex in a Toastmasters setting, make sure that your points are respectful, not only for the listener, but for yourself. It starts from within you. Change the way you think about sex. Don't think about it as lust. That's the worst thing that happens, and that's why things go haywire. Of course, we are normal human beings. It's part of our psyche to feel an element of lust in there. Otherwise, it doesn't work. There's emotions involved. Also, it may not work. But at the end of the day, I reiterate, it's respect, respect, respect. Starts from within you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, and thank you so much. And again, one of the main highlighting points that you should start respecting from yourself, then you can automatically start respecting others as well. Thank you so much for bringing that conclusion from your point of view. And now let's hear to the last conclusion from our own Toastmaster Pramod on the politics part. Over to you, Toastmaster Pramod.
Rahul, I just don't want to talk about the politics part and conclude it. And I honestly believe that this is not just a project completion exercise, that whether we should talk about all these three topics in Toastmasters. Being a member, I would like to see more such speeches in this club on the same topic. If we have a consensus, our club, maybe Dr. Mary had taken a lot of effort in getting it confirmed from TI, whether it is possible or not. We have a documentary evidence to say that these topics are no more a taboo in Toastmasters. So I would like to see more speeches on the same topic in the coming days. I would like to know what does Mary stand on Israel, Palestine, or Stephen Bowie stand on why obese people are not getting loved as much as the healthy people or lean people. Or I would like to know from Dr. Mary Thomas why human beings by birth or by nature, by instinct, they are polygamous, but which still monogamy is a rule. Or why religion is the root cause of all evil. Maybe Catherine can disagree with me and put light on the same topic. So this diversity should be encouraged in Toastmasters. And I'm sure that in the coming days, we would be seeing more such stunning speeches on topics with more deep understanding and content. And these three topics, I'm sure that it is going to affect us in a positive way. There should be a proper understanding about what we are going to do in our life. We should know how to handle these sensitivities. I can see that a lot of students, a lot of youngsters, they are here with a desire to learn something new, or with a desire to learn the good practices in Toastmasters. So these are expert people. So I don't want to miss their wisdom in any way. So I don't want to restrict their wisdom to certain topics which are considered to be good. Let me tell you, these are not dirty topics. These are very important topics. So let's agree on one point, that this is not at all a taboo in Toastmasters. We should encourage people to come out with their life experiences, their self-doubts, whether if any insecurities there within them. Let us make this as a platform to resolve all those insecurities through the experience sharing exercise of others. So then it will become more meaningful platform. That's what I want to see as a member of the Toastmasters for Professionals. Other clubs should also speak that. See the other club, see the club of professionals. They are actually professionals, not in name, but they are acting like one. So that's what I want to see and hear in the coming days. Maybe I'll start with my first speech whenever I get time to time slot from the VP Education. Back to you, Rahul. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pramod, for taking a different note on conclusion and inspiring and also encouraging all of us to speak on taboo topics, implementing whatever the insights or tips and tricks that our other panelists has shared. Thank you so much for that encouragement as well. Now, when we say discussion, and if audience are not part of it, how it's gonna make it complete, right? Always it's incomplete. So again, so to make this whole panel discussion complete, I would like to open the floor for discussion, especially from the audience. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand and unmute yourself and ask the question. So I am opening the floor for audience, and please feel free to go with your question. Okay, we have Andriana. So yes. So Andriana is the one who raised her hand first. So Andriana, please unmute yourself and go with the question.
Yes, I do have a question for Dr. Mary. Sex can be very broad topic, right? We're talking about sexuality, we're talking about the actual sex. So how do you differentiate? Because if we're talking about sex in between two people, or we're talking about my sex or what I want to believe, how do you actually will like to categorize or classify this type of sex?
Thank you for your question, Adrienne. I believe you're looking at the question, your question is about sexuality and the LGBT community, sexual orientation. Would I be correct on that?
It could be, because I thought you were talking about sex, and then you went into sexuality, and then you were talking about LGBT, and then you're talking about a couple of people. So I got a little bit okay, so we're talking about the sex of the person or the sexuality. I mean, is there a difference in between both?
All right. I'm talking about the sex act, that two people, whether they are from the whatever orientation they may have. And that's the one that brings a lot of difficulty. Now, how can I actually give a speech about the different sex positions? That's what I'm saying. How can I give a speech about Kama Sutra? How can I give a speech about what a husband and wife should actually be exercising when to have a healthy sex life? I'm referring to that. I'm not referring so much to the gender. So that's what I'm referring. And again, I'll come back to that. It's respect. Effective communication. We use effective communication to open up and speak to our partner or speak to our children and even to society in a speech. But each of it has its own limitations. I cannot speak openly to the public in a public forum about the different sexual positions just like that. I have to prime the audience and bring them into the speech that I want to talk about. And that takes some skill, the art and science of public speaking. You really need to use it at that time. Have I answered your question?
Thank
Yes,
you.
I hope yeah. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Mary, and thank you so much, Andrea, for bringing up the question and giving the answers as well. Now we have a question from Shakil. So I would request Toastmaster Shakil to please unmute yourself and go with the question.
Yeah, thank you for giving me an opportunity. My question is with respected Madam Catherine Apondo regarding the religion. As all the religions of the world spread the message of love and positivity, all the religions discourage bad deeds, encourage good deeds. What's your take on delivering a speech on this aspect of religion in Toastmasters?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shakil. It is true that all religions do promote love, peace, and positivity. That is what it was intended. Faith, or a power that is higher than us, is geared towards helping us live better or be transformed or get to a better level than we were. Our interpretation of our faith or of our religion is what brings the fruit. So in my faith, for example, there is a verse that says, you will be known by your fruit. The fruit that you bear is how we will know who you believe in. And so it is our duty as faith holders or people of faith, whatever faith you belong to, it is your duty to bear the fruits of your faith. And that's why I said, if your fruit of your faith is not bringing the peace, the love, and positivity we are seeing, our question then should be, with respect, how have you interpreted your faith? Because what is required is, if the power is higher than us, then that power should propel us to be better than we are and to live peaceably with one another. That is my viewpoint. I hope I have answered your question, Shakil.
Thanks a lot, madam. Thanks a lot for your valuable views.
Thank you so much, Shakil, for bringing up that question. And thank you so much, Toastmaster Catherine, for sharing your thoughts as well. Now, considering time, of course, if we want to talk, we have a lot of questions and we have a lot of discussions, healthy discussions, which everybody would like to talk, right? So considering time as bound, so we would like to go with one last question from Toastmaster Kerry, and then whoever has any further questions, I request all of them to put the questions in the chat so that I will take up the questions to our panelists and reach back to you with the answers. So with that note, I would like to give the stage to Toastmaster Kerry. Please unmute yourself and please go with the question.
Thank you so much. I have really thoroughly enjoyed this panel discussion. My question has to do with, like, all of these topics have need a level of diplomacy and respect that in order to have these discussions. I guess my question would be, what happens when you're dealing with people who don't have good intentions for bringing up the conversation? Like, the whole purpose of them trying to bait you into one of these taboo subjects is so they can get people riled up. They want to get the energy going in a negative direction because they're basically bad faith actors. So I guess this could go to anyone, but yeah, these subjects can have this effect when there's somebody in the conversation that has bad intentions and they want things to go off the rails.
Indeed, thank you so much, Carrie, for your question.
May I answer that one? There was someone
indeed,
who, sorry.
Master Mary, please go ahead.
Yeah, very quickly. There was someone very lately who, when the topic of sex was just thrown onto the floor, that person quickly came up with a lot of foul language. They came up with suggestive phrases, and they derailed that whole wholesome conversation about sex. Now, when that happens, it's up to the Toastmaster of the day to put a seal on that conversation, to bring the meeting back to track. We don't want this kind of derailment, and that actually reflects the person. not the topic. Yeah, I just read about it yesterday, about what happened in one of the clubs. It reflects the person. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mary, sharing your views on that. I hope, Kerry, you got an answer for the question. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. And as I mentioned earlier, if you have any further questions, please feel free to share your questions in the chat. And if you, after listening to a whole this discussion, and if you still feel bit of nervous or bit of hesitant to ask the question publicly, please feel free to share the question to me one-to-one, so that I will have a discussion and get the answers to you one-to-one, so that you will get to know the answer for your question. I hope that's fine. Everybody is okay with that? Yes, considering this, I would like to thank the whole my panel and the audience for making this panel discussion worth of attending. At the same time, we have taken a lot of key takeaways, starting from respect, starting acceptance is the key, and lot of other takeaways. I hope we will try to implement this in our day-to-day conversations, as well as in the Toastmaster platform, wherever we go and give speeches, to have a healthy and respectful conversations with the others. So with this view in mind, have a great day, everyone. And hereby, I would say we concluded our panel discussion. Ooh, being a moderator, it's very difficult. But being a TMOD, it's very easy, because you can be a bit more energetic and you can speak with high note as well. So with that, can we have a big round of applause for all our panel discussion members and the audience? Yes, yes. Thank you so much, everyone. And now we have one more an interesting session that is planned, that is table topic section, where till now it was a very serious mode where everybody was talking bit of serious, sharing their views, sharing their opinions, and everybody was very carefully listening. Now it's time to have bit more fun, at the same time listen to fun topics from all the table topic speakers as well. So to speak in detail and to conduct this, we have a person called Table Topic Master, who will carry out further segment. And again, as a TMOD, or in other words, Toastmaster of the day, it's my duty to introduce that person. And the introduction I prepared for today's Table Topic Master goes like this. I would like to dedicate this introductory poem to the Table Topic Master of today's meeting. Like how it's incomplete, without moon, there is no earth. Without sun, there is no light. Without flower, there is no fragrance. Without hope, there is no life. Without color, no beauty. Similarly, without DTM Milin, there is no meaning to the Toastmasters. So considering this introduction, I would like to welcome Toastmaster DTM Milin to conduct table topic section further ahead. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, for a very poetic end to your to the presentation that you are doing. Thank you, appreciate everything, and thank you once again all the panelists. But I would like to give a big round of applause to Shanda, our timer, who for the last 40 minutes or so has been so meticulously showing us the timing. Please give her a big round of applause for doing a wonderful job. It is not easy as a timer, and Shanda, you will have to continue doing this good work for another 30 minutes, because the table topic session, which I am now going to conduct, is also got a little twist in it. You know, we are all familiar with table topics. Table topics is an opportunity for us to come and speak on a topic impromptu. Today, I'm going to give you topics which are relevant to the three subjects that we've been discussing: sex, politics, and religion. And not just that, we have heard just now panelists talk about how to handle these topics. I have some notes here. Talk with respect, set boundaries, let your words speak, not your voice. Set a higher ground. This is what Lance Miller said in that YouTube yesterday. Sensitivity. And last, my bit a little, it's not just important of what you say, how you say. So this is going to be an opportunity for all of us to talk on these topics, take a little bit of a takeaways from what we heard from these esteemed panelists. And we're going to have these panelists also evaluate that particular speaker who is talking on that topic, so that the panelist gets an opportunity to do a little bit more of a let's say, improvisation or suggestion, so that the entire objective of this meeting, which our Vice President Education, Mary, has so thoughtfully thought of, really comes to a fructification. So without much ado, let us get into the topics. So I am now going to give a topic to a person, and I am also going to name the name of the evaluator who is going to evaluate the topic, so that the evaluator in particular be a little more, not everybody be attentive, but the evaluator in particular, because after soon the table topic speaker speaks, I will not, I will, once she states, the evaluator please step in and give an evaluation. So for the table topics, as usual, we have got 1.5, 2 minutes, and then 30 seconds of grace time. And the evaluator has got 1 minute. So you have to be ready so that within that 1 minute, you briefly improvise on what the speaker said. Correct, Mary? Is that what we are expected in this session? Wonderful. So let me start with the topics. So the evaluator who should now be ready is Mary, but the topic is a little aligned to what you talk to us about. And the speaker whom I would like to bring on stage is Swati. Where is Swati?
Yeah.
There you are.
Hi,
Swati.
Milind.
Yeah, hi, Swati. So Swati, the topic for you followed the rules, right? And all of you
Yes.
have got the 2 minutes and then 1 minute the evaluator, and then I come back again and give the next topic. So Swati, the topic for you is a hot topic in the US where I am right now, but a very relevant topic. Is abortion a woman's justifiable right? And let us all take that 20-30 seconds which we have, because these topics are a little heady, a little, let's say, which makes you think. Make use of the 20-30 seconds, think about it, and then start. Is abortion a woman's justifiable right? Toastmaster Swati.
One doubt, Milind, whether it is religion, politics, it's definitely not sex. You can mention that also, so that
So this is a, so I have not been very compartmentalized on that. I think that this topic is a little related to sex, and so I'm asking Mary to, and since Mary is the sculptor of this whole program, I wanted her to set the tone of the evaluation. That's why I chose this topic and this evaluation. So I have tried to align it as much, but it is not very hard and fast.
Fine. You can mention that also, so that we can concentrate and get points to evaluate.
Yeah. So your Mary is going to be the evaluation, so she concentrates more than the others. Swati, sorry.
Yeah, Milind, thank you for the intense topic. I would say, like many thoughts started revolving in my head. I beg to differ. Abortion is not just a women's right. When the sex is consensus, abortion also should be in consensus. So men has equal rights. Women may be a bit more because she has to carry the baby for 9 months and she has to nurture the baby for a long time. Maybe a little more power, but definitely it's a decision between men and women. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Continue. I mean, you are a new Toastmaster. Continue. Okay, I'm not going to leave you so easily. Talk. Your thoughts will come to your mind.
I'm thinking. I think government should not enter into this decisions, like unlike US, or government should not take any decisions. It's their personal opinion. Only the person who was involved in this act should take decisions and move forward. Yeah, Milind, that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, doesn't matter. Thank you, Swati. Yeah, Mary, you can step in and.
Yes, this is certainly in the field of the area of family planning, which is exactly what I do. And of course, Toastmaster Swati has given her opinion. I don't think that her opinion has offended anybody. Now, when you're handling a question where you are asked to take sides on a controversial topic, it's always good to start with, this is my personal opinion. That's how we always start when you are going to give an opinion that may offend others. So she has handled it well, given that she's new and the topic was just onto her. It's very intense. Abortion is a very, very heavily debated topic. In that sense of the word, Swati, you managed to find your way out of the situation. Yeah, back to you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Millie.
Thank you. So this input of Mary was very important. Start with a kind of a disclaimer so that the topic, what you say, gets a little more palatable. Correct, Mary? That's what is the intention. All right. So the next topic coming is to Pramod. You are going to be the evaluator. And Larissa, where are you from? And you Toastmaster, Larissa?
No, I am a guest.
Okay,
of
wonderful.
Stephen.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Stephen, yeah.
So did you understand? I'm going to give you a topic which is related to this subject which we just now talked about. You are going to think for about 20 seconds and then you will start speaking. When you start speaking, you've got 2 minutes to speak. So when you finish 1 minute, the timer will flash a green card. When you finish 1 minute and 30 seconds, she will flash a yellow card. And when you finish 2 minutes, she will flash a red card. That is when you have to stop and conclude. Okay. And after that, Pramod, your evaluator, will talk about how you handled this sensitive topic. You got it, Larissa?
Yes, got it.
And which part of the world are you from?
Originally, I grew up in Slovenia, so eastern part of Europe.
Yeah, of course.
Bosnian descent.
And now?
So now I am here in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay, so that is why this topic is coming your way. I would like to hear, Larissa, from you, your views on gun control in USA.
Yes.
Gun control in USA, Larissa.
Thank you. So my personal opinion on guns in general, I oppose. I really don't like the policy. I think it needs to be changed. And too many people have access, and just seeing what's happening around just schools, all these shootings, it's very sad. And to the point where you're scared to send your kids to school and without thinking what's going to happen today. Will I get a call from school? So that's my opinion.
Yeah, you still have, it's not yet green light. So continue.
I think that's all for now that I'm going to say.
Living in Virginia, I thought you will have so much more to talk.
So much more to talk about.
Yes, I've been living here for the last 5 months and I have got so much thoughts now on gun control. So Pramod, can you get into it and take it further?
So, yes, so
sorry,
I would.
Lecture complete, Milind.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, speak up, Larissa.
Yes, so I would change the policy in a way where there's nowhere that no one can buy any ammunition. So maybe that would be a solution for people who own, that's my opinion, who own guns.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, fellow Toastmasters. A very bold opinion. It's a very sensitive topic. And I remember the documentary by Michael Moore about Bowling for the Columbine. That's the name of the documentary. If you want to know more about the gun mafia or the regulations or what are the needs required, you can go and watch them. Larissa very clearly said that she has an opinion. She said it should be banned. It should be banned. So that's something very, very important. When you ask a direct question, you have to give a direct answer. So kudos for that. You expressed your opinion and you gave your example also. You said something about the gunshots happened in schools and also. That's a clear example. And especially you said it is not required at the same time. And you also supported why it is not required. So these two things you have coordinated very well. So that's all about a question. You said your opinion and your answer and your explanations and an example also. That's really good. And fine, what is the solution? You said we need to change the policy also. So all the three things you mentioned within that short span of 1.5 minutes, you said your opinion, reason for your opinion, and solution for your opinion. So I think I'm pretty happy with the topic and your answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And if I may add my 2 bits, Pramod, if you really, and I'm sure this movie or something which you mentioned, if you should, one should, when one talks on this subject, one should also go back to find out why are guns first of all allowed in the USA. I
It's
think
money.
the Article 2 or something like that, which is there. I think we need to understand why it has started, and whether it is still relevant today. And then, of course, like Larissa said, give an opinion about it. So, I mean, that was how I would have probably handled it. But good job, Larissa, especially for a person who is not a Toastmaster, not used to speaking. I hope you enjoyed it, and you will come back again. The third topic coming is to our friend traveling Toastmaster, who from Canada has moved to Abu Dhabi, in between went to India. She said she's sending me messages from everywhere. So let me catch hold of her, and she's going to be evaluated by D. Mary, Area Director D. Mary. Yeah, D. Mary? You will evaluate the topic which I'm giving to Vrunda. So Vrunda, your topic is, you have traveled the world, Vrunda. Racism in different forms is growing in the world. What is your take on it? Racism in different forms is growing all over the world. North, West, East, South, Middle East, North America, South America, everywhere. What is your take on it, Toastmaster Vrunda?
Thank you, DTM Millen, for this topic. Racism is growing and it's taking different shapes and different forms. On the one side, we can see that the world is becoming smaller. We have this wonderful panel from across the world. We are sitting in one room discussing various topics. But at the same time, when we set our foot out and into our workplaces, we might see a different scenario. When we are on the queue at the airport, we might see a different scenario. Just yesterday, I was here in Abu Dhabi, and I was quietly watching the kind of, I wouldn't call it racism exactly, it was probably financial racism, wherein you can see different classes, wherein people were standing for a visa queue. And I'm seeing this after a long time. I was in the World Trade Center office here, and I was observing for about 3 hours because I was waiting for somebody who had gone for their visa application. And just for a simple process of a visa application, there was a platinum queue, there was a gold queue, there was a premium queue, and there was an ordinary people's queue. And I was surprised that for a non-racist transaction also, there are so many layers. Imagine how it happens even at the airport. It has become commonplace now to see all these things. So on the one side, we are trying to make people equal, and on the other side, we are creating this differences amongst people. And it never stops. That's what, so be it a classroom, be it a workplace, it's taking subtle and different forms, is my personal opinion. And I leave it to the room to open your eyes, check out, and probably raise your voice or express your opinion if you feel you don't agree with this kind of racism. That's my take on it. Back to you.
Belinda, thank you so much for that response to that question. You laid out a clear picture, but you started out by saying, this is my take, or this is my opinion. And then you gave us examples of why you have the feeling that you do. You agreed that you think that there are many forms of racism on many levels all over the place. And the scenario that you showed at the airport was you could actually see the different levels and the different places where each individual or strata of person was supposed to go, because you gave us the different colors, the gold, whatever. So that gave us a clear distinction that there were classes and that people were expected to respond to it. And then you said the ordinary person. So that pulled all of that away. And then it did take on a financial stratification of individuals. And we have to do something about that. I agree. And it will take diplomacy and using our voices to make that happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Vrinda. Very well handled topic. I would now like to move on to the next. And I want Dr. Stephen to be a little more attentive because you're going to be evaluating Dr. Stephen. So the person who I'm going to call is the person who gave a wonderful general evaluation. So Cassandra, I'm going to call you. If you can start your video, fine. Otherwise also we are fine. So Cassandra, the topic which I have thought for you is, we heard about the LGBTQ community, and it's always talked about in little hush tones. But I'm very happy that here, when in the US I have been staying, there's a lot more openness. There's a lot more sensitivity to it. Even when my daughter, I talk to her, I find her approach is very different from what my approach was until now, and I'm slowly changing that. So my question to you, Cassandra, is in universities, in order to, let's say, encourage the LGBT community, should we have some kind of a reservation? Should we have some kind of a reservation for the LGBTQ community at universities? Toastmaster Cassandra.
Should we have reservations or what now?
Yeah, in universities for the LGBTQ community.
Reservations for what?
For the LGBTQ community.
No, they should be treated as one, as all of us. They shouldn't be separated. They shouldn't be any different towards anybody else. They should be as equal, on equal footing, like us all. We should not separate, treat them any different as you would me, you, or anyone else. I feel that we should all be treated equally. And see, that's the thing. I don't feel that we shouldn't separate. We shouldn't treat anybody any different as you would me, you, DeMarie, Ragu, anyone. No one should be pointed out, separated, and say you're different, you're this, you're that. Just treat people with respect, with dignity, and you're good. But once you start labeling people as this, as that, or you're different, or you're L, you're G, you're this, you're that, then you're labeling someone. Then you're saying you're different, you're this, you're that. But once, if you treat them with respect, then you can't say, oh, you're different, you're this, you're that. Don't label anyone as being different. That's like what Stephen was saying, you're skinny, you're fat, you're this. Don't do that. Just treat a person, as being on equal footing. So no. To answer your question, no. Back to you.
Yeah, Doctor.
Thank you, Cassandra, for your feedback and answering the table topic. And you were very expressive and very clear about your opinion. And your opinion was to make sure that we all treat people equally, no matter what their personal sexual preference would be. And you have given us some example of how we should treat each other like individual, naming some names so that we treat them the way they are rather than lumping people up together and treat them differently. So I believe that your timing is good. You did use more than a minute, so that qualifies. And at the end, you also wrapping it up and make the clear point that you do not have any reservations on classing or having the community LGBTQ be separated at a university. So thank you very much for your table topic answer.
Thank you.
Back to you, Milind.
Thank you, Doctor, and thank you, Cassandra, for this view. I also tend to agree with you. You know, I come from India, and where we have reservations on for various categories, and the kind of a havoc it has created with our education system is unbelievable. You know, we are trying to do something good, but it is causing more damage. And I really appreciate the stand that you took, that, you know, we should treat everybody as equals, give everybody the same chance, opportunity. Thank you very much, Cassandra, for the I was expecting a similar kind of answer from you, and that's why I very specifically picked you up for this topic. Okay, so we have got the next topic coming. I am seeing a guest here, Madhu Kumar. Madhu, where are you from?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm from Mysore Toastmasters Club in India.
Okay, okay.
Karnataka
So you're a
state.
Toastmaster, so I don't have to get into it. Yeah.
Yes,
Mysore, for those of you who don't know, is a very beautiful province, a little towards the southeast of India, and it's got a wonderful palace. It's got a wonderful museum. It's got a wonderful garden called which is named after our friend Vrunda. It's called Vrindavan Gardens. Correct. So Madhu comes from Mysore, where Vrindavan Gardens are. Very close to Bangalore, about 100 miles or so from Bangalore. So Madhu, the topic for you, you know, I know you are in India, yeah, I know we are on the verge of time. Rahul, I will wrap it up. Yeah, with Madhu, I will wrap it up. So Madhu, religious extremism. Sorry, and the moderator whom I want to handle this is our president, I think, Catherine. Catherine, you are around, right? Yeah, okay. Madhu, religious extremism is on the rise. I mean, there is no doubt about it. What is your opinion? How do we keep it under control?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, dear Toastmasters, and yes, if we look into various situations, various social media throughout the world, we know that the day after day, the tensions is building up between communities within the country and between two countries. And one of the main reason is the religion. And I believe that things do happen like this. My opinion is because of lack of knowledge or lack of exposure to the kind of people from the other religion. And as a result, one tend to have a fear what going to happen next, and because of that fear going to lead for them to go to an extreme or to become overprotective about some things, or fear for something that is not backed up by evidence, or something which would have happened elsewhere, and thinking that okay, it might will happen now also. And added to that is lot of so many social media accounts which add lot of spicy things to stimulate this, and we also have lots of political leaders to take advantage of this. So in even though the things are very minute, it is because of these social media influencers and politicians who are creating it. If we really look into it, if we are properly educating, like if you have a Toastmasters like platform where people come in, and this one, obviously there would not be a problem. But unfortunately, our society is so volatile. All of a sudden, different countries are connected in very short span, and people are fear that okay, their culture is at risk, religion is at risk, and it is creating this kind of confusion. And of course, wherever the different communities are there, which is leading to a violation of human rights, then the government or international have to step in to protect, so that the people will, even with the wrong views, the people should never be affected. So there must be a pressure until this kind of equal sharing platform exists in future. Yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, Catherine, take over.
Toastmaster Madhu, that was very, very impressive. I'm hard of hearing, so I kept on, moving closer to my screen to hear your voice, but your proponents of your delivery were very crisp and clear. You started off by telling us what it is. It is tensions between communities based on their faith beliefs. And then you also made a disclaimer. You said it is your opinion. But then you gave us the reasons why you think this is happening. 3 or 4 reasons I will mention: lack of knowledge, fear, and then the social media bullying that happens to bring a lot of extremism. Then you also describe political syndicates that are propelling such things. Then you also gave us your thoughts on what you think needs to be done to prevent these violations, these extremism. You clearly gave us your description of what you think needs to be done in a very peaceable way. Your vocal variety or your tone was bringing us together and yet also bringing us to listen. I enjoyed your submissions, and I agree with what you have said to us, that we need to set boundaries and also to use our platforms like the Toastmasters platforms to share such information. So thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Madhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine, for evaluating, and thank you, Madhu, for handling the topic so very well. Toastmaster of the day, just correct me if I'm wrong. Varun is going to be doing the evaluation of the overall panel discussion. Is that right, Rahul? Yeah,
Yes,
okay, because
yes,
I thought
yes.
I whether I missed out on Varun. So Varun gets an opportunity. So thank you very much. It was, as they say, practice what you preach. So I think we had panelists coming and preaching us, telling us about how to handle such topics. And I hope this table topic session gave you some opportunity to practice it. And I think we should continue. Like various speakers have said, as Toastmasters, we have this moral responsibility. We should do this even outside Toastmasters. Like today, when I sit in my drawing room with my son-in-law, with my I give certain tips from Toastmastering to them, because we are not just Toastmasters for the sake of Toastmasters. I think we also have a certain moral obligation to spread the goodness of good communication, of listening to people, actively listening, giving constructive feedback, and all those things. So thank you very much, Mary, for this opportunity. And with this, I am handing the control back to our Toastmaster of the day, Rahul.
Yes. Can we have a big round of applause for our Toastmaster, Milind, for bringing up all the sensitive topics so beautifully and very delicately, handling everybody's feedback at the same time, shown practical implementation of whatever the discussion we had just few minutes before in the panel discussion. Thank you so much. And now I owe an apology for our evaluator Toastmaster Varun, because I was very nervous, and after a panel discussion I should have moved to evaluation and then I should have moved to table topics. But again, like every student or engineering student, I was very nervous and immediately thought of, okay, I just completed my exam, need some relaxation. With that thought, I moved. So once again, my apologies for whatever happened. However, I would request Toastmaster Varun to please go ahead with his evaluation on the panel discussion that happened. With that note, I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Varun. Over to you.
Thank you so much, panel moderator, or should I say panel engineer, Toastmaster Rahul, for the introduction. Firstly, I want to say that this panel underlined the fact that you can disagree without being disagreeable. Thank you for the panel moderator and the panelists for underlining that so well. Rahul, you had a very enthusiastic start. You introduced the title and the context. And you also were very vigilant of time, and you cut the panelists respectfully when they were out of time or when they derailed from the question on hand, and you brought them back saying that no, this is in Toastmasters context mainly. So that shows your awareness as a panel moderator. And you were very dynamic as you changed the order in the three phases of the panel moderation. So what it does is it ensures that there's no monotony that is set in, and even the guests cannot sit back, but they know that, oh, the order is changed, now who is speaking, right? So that was very well done. And you summarized really well after each panelist, right? And and most importantly, whether be it a Toastmaster of the day or a panel moderator, it is important to remain in the background and ensure that the panelists, or rather the topic, shines through rather than you hogging the limelight or the spotlight. So that was really well done. And even as an experienced Toastmaster, I have that to learn from you. And you opened the flow for questions. Everything was fantastic. Now, as always, before I go on to your improvement areas, I have another part, the panelists, right? I think your moderation also ensured that the panelists exhibited passion and educated caution while sharing their thoughts. They gave stats and their personal examples to drive home the point. They seamlessly borrowed from fellow panelists, in the sense the discussion flowed and it was not like compartmentalized sections. It was a beautiful free-flowing discussion with some wonderful quotes, like we are spiritual beings on a human journey. And the panelists also highlighted the two important values of Toastmasters: respect and integrity. And by serving the wider community, you have made it an excellent panel discussion, thus underlining the four values. But Toastmasters is all about improvement. So a couple of things. You could have given a one-line introduction for each panelist, to highlight their credentials. Timing guidelines could have been mentioned earlier. And you could have monitored the overall time better, is what I feel. And could you have, this is my question to you, could you have rephrased the questions or asked some specific questions pertaining to each topic, right? Rather than making it one lengthy discussion split into parts. That's just a question for your consideration. And to challenge yourself, would love, it's for both the panel moderator and the panelists. The panelists, I request you to convert these submissions into speeches and present them. And for the panel moderator, please find someone to invite you as a panelist and later as an evaluator, so that you would have completed the full circle, as I'm doing now, thanks to you and Toastmaster Mary. In the end, I just want to say that this discussion educated us, that none of these 3 words or 5 words are dirty or taboo. And I request, please share the video far and wide. Hope this spark truly enlightens everyone within and outside the fraternity, because if we as Toastmasters cannot speak it, I wonder who else can speak it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I would like to bow down to the entire team, the panel moderator, and the panelists. Truly enlightening and educational. Thank you so much. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Varun, for such a constructive feedback and constructive evaluation over the panel discussion. And I hope everybody would implement it and go further with the evaluation. Thank you so much for such a candid feedback. Now, as I said, it's already, as per the agenda, we should have closed earlier, but I hope every journey where if we have some learning, it's worth waiting. So considering that thought in my mind and considering that thought of the day, I would like to hand over the stage directly to the Catherine to closing this meeting, and over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much. A round of applause to our Toastmaster and panel moderator, Toastmaster Rahul. Thank you so much. Toastmasters and guests, please, will you help me give a round of applause to our timer, Shanda Makomba, for the job well done. Thank you so much, Shanda, for supporting this meeting dearly. We really appreciate your work. Thank you for being the light in the background that we couldn't do without. So thank you so much. Our guests, if you will take a moment to let us know how you enjoyed this meeting, and I will mention Toastmaster Madhu, Shakil, Cassandra, Adriana, Subhadra, and Divya, and Carrie in that respect. Please let us know how you enjoyed this meeting.
Beautiful meeting, beautiful, just awesome. Cassandra.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Adriana, Subhadra, Divya, Carrie, please unmute yourselves and speak.
A few years ago, I had been to a meeting. It was in London, and they had so many different topics about politics, about gay marriage, and so many other things. And they were giving their speeches in that. I was shocked because I was a Toastmaster from the Middle East where everything is a taboo. So this particular panel discussion was a real eye-opener. Rahul did a great job, and the panelists, Mary, Pramod, Cassandra, and Catherine. I'm sorry, I think I missed one name. Fantastic. I got so much to take back. And the evaluation, fabulous. It was very well done and to the point. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Subhadra. Adriana, Divya, Carrie, please unmute yourselves.
It's Carrie. Oops. Yeah, sorry. Did somebody start?
Yes, the meeting went very well, I guess. People here are very encouraging and very positive, I guess. It is very good. I feel very good about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Divya. Carrie?
This meeting was very enlightening. It was very different. I've never been to a meeting like this. And let me tell you, those table topics had me going. I was like, what? Those table topics really did it. I've never seen anybody do evaluations on each table topic answer, though. That was different. I love this meeting. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome, Carrie. Adriana, please take to the floor.
Yes. Well, this is my first time, and I can tell you that time flies. I said wow, this is kind of long meeting, but it was very enjoyable. Being trying to join one of these meetings, and it's amazing, right? That how easy the topics that sometimes we cannot speak at home. We cannot say things at work or between, I cannot talk to my husband about politics, right? They're so easy. Their flow in this meeting, and the panelists were amazing. Thank you, because that's the way that I want to be. I want to be able to communicate with the team and present my topics without respect, with respect, without offending anybody, right? And that's what we're looking to have these crucial conversations and say what we have in our heart and our minds. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Adriana. Toastmaster Madhu, please let us know how you felt, how you liked this meeting.
Yeah. So it was a very informational and educative session, listening to diverse views, people from diverse backgrounds, and especially the evaluation that happens after each table topics, which we don't do in our club. So it was a nice learning experience. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Madhu. Larissa, will you please unmute yourself and speak to us? Tell us, how did you like this meeting?
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. I really, really enjoyed this experience. This is my first time as well. I'm not sure. I felt a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning when I was put on a spot. But eventually, maybe, I would get over and be more comfortable as people share everything so freely. And it's just a comfortable and safe environment. And yes, I very much enjoyed everyone, and I learned a lot. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Larissa. We hope you'll join us as a Toastmaster. Consider this club as your home. Panel evaluator Varun, Toastmaster Varun, please let us know how you loved this meeting, how you like the energy here.
Definitely, President Catherine. This is my first time, and it was really amazing. A great job, and I think this panel discussion is need of the hour. And because though we are all educated, sometimes we do like lambs take things said to us, blindly. And as educated communicators, it's our responsibility to challenge, what is not right, and also do it agreeably without being disagreeable. Yeah. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to your feedback on the evaluation. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, panel evaluator Varun. And I can never forget the statement you said, if we as Toastmasters can't speak about these topics, who else can? So we have a responsibility, a moral obligation to educate ourselves and our communities about things that make us better people. I would like to thank you all, Toastmasters and guests, for attending this meeting. And I would like to say a special thank you to our club officers for making Toastmasters for professional work and look good. And I would now like to adjourn this meeting. Thank you so much.